This is going to take forever. Hello friends, welcome back to another video. We're going to try to film most of this video. It's probably going to have to be filmed in parts because I'm going to be filming it during nap times. And it's going to take a while because I have a lot. But today's video is my entire physical TBR. And I am embarrassed to say it is quite large. But this will also give me an opportunity to kind of go through my books and unhaul any that I'm no longer interested in while we're going through this. And it's going to be quite a bit of a task for editing me, trying to keep up with the number. So we're not going to babble on because this video is going to take forever. So we're just going to get right into it. We're going to go shelf by shelf. We're just going to get started. And before we get started, I know, overconsumption, blah, blah, blah. It makes me happy. Reading and buying books are two different hobbies. I collect pretty books. And we're just going to leave it at that. So let's get into it and see exactly how big my TBR has gotten. And I'm sad to say it's probably embarrassingly big. Editing Haley here, but I found one book on my nightstand that I forgot about, and that is Burning Daylight. So we're going to start our TBR off right here. All right, we're going to start with my Fairy Loot shelf. First off, we have The Gods Below by Andrea Stewart, Death's Daughter by S.A. Barnes, The Wicked Sea by Jordan Stephanie Gray. This is not a Fairy Loot, but it was on the Fairy Loot shelf. We have Between Two Kings by Lindsay Straught, Half City by Kate Golden, King of Ravens by Claire Sager, Fallen City by Adrienne Young, Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber, Catabasis by R.F. Kwong, The Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena, The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillick, This Monster of Mine by Shalini, I'm not even gonna attempt that last name, Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. These I've already read, so they don't count. But it is The Bonds and the Blood of Hercules. The Scorpion and the Night Blossom by Amelia Wenzel, Immortal by Sue Lynn Tan, and the first Fairy Loot book I ever got, which is The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson. The Man No One Believed, The Untold Story of the Georgia Church Murders by Joshua Sharp. I have The Bombshell by Darrow Farr, Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen, Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher, The Wicked by Rebecca John P. I think that's how you say that. Stolen Midnights by Catherine Quinn. Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. Immortal Consequences by Ivy Murray. The Bones Beneath My Skin by T.J. Klune. Next to Heaven by James Frey. Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. Someone in the Attic by Andrea Mora. You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. Here for a Moment by Leanne Moriarty. First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston. I have the other one somewhere here. We'll just count it whenever I get to it. But we have Life's Too Short and Happy Ever After Playlist by Abby Jimenez. We Who Will Die by Stasia Stark. When I'm Dead by Hannah Morrissey. All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. I have The Dare and the Play by Elle Kennedy. Love Song by Elle Kennedy. Body Check by Elle Kennedy. The Dixon Rule by Elle Kennedy. The Charlie Method by Elle Kennedy. Soul Searching by Lala Sage. A Crime Through Time, a Miss Darcy Investigation by Amelia Blackwell. A Little Jaded and a Little Tempting by Kelsey Ray. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. The Clinic by Kate Quinn. Echo Fort and Cinder Vale by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. The Wild Card by Stephanie Archer. Gloves Off by Stephanie Archer. The Wingman by Stephanie Archer. And The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. Bridesmaids for Hire by Megan Quinn. Wild Ever After by Rebecca Jinchak. Insatiable, Voracious, Restitution, and Psychotic Obsession, all by Lee Rivers. We have Break Me and Be My Brayshaw by Megan Brandy. The Wren and the Holly Library and The Robin and the Oak Throne by K.A. Lind. In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. Wicked by Jennifer L. Harmontrout. Ruthless Creatures, Carnal Urges, Savage Hearts, and Brutal Vows, all by J.T. Geisinger. City of Bones and City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. Caged Wolf by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. Severed Heart by Kate Stewart. Fade Into You by L.A. Farrow. I have no idea what order these go in. Play With Me, Unravel Me, Fall With Me, and Breathe With Me, all by Becca Mack. Devoted, Detonate, and Detained by Luna Mason. Beartown by Frederick Bachman. Exquisite Ruin by Adrian May. Older by Jennifer Hartman. The Poisoner and the Arachnid by Ivy Ophelia. Great and Precious Things by Rebecca Yaros. Fearful by Lauren Roberts. The Night Witch and the Fate of Magic by Sarah Roche and Beth Rivas. The Wolf King and the Night Prince by Lauren Palfreeman. Avalon Tower and Veil of Dreams by C.N. Crawford and Alex Rivers. Save Me, Save You, and Save Us. It's the Max and Hall series by Mona Caston. Kingdom of Claw, Roots of Darkness, and Dawn of the North by Demi Winters. Rings of Faith by Melissa De La Cruz. The Jasad Air by Sarah Hashim. Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Heat of the Everflame by Penn Cole. Star Side by Alex Astor. Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson. Riftborn and Duskbound by Greenwich and Lennox. The Ascended by Greenwich and Lennox. Hex by Emily McIntyre. The Wallflower by Sally Louise. Nightshade by Autumn Woods. The Book of Azrael. The Throne of Broken God. The Dawn of the Cursed Queen. And The Wrath of the Fallen, all by Amber V. Nicole. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. On Wings of Blood. The Bond That Burns. And The Wings That Bind, all by Briar Bolin. The Ledge by Stacey McEwen. The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Unromance by Aaron Connor. Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. My Lady Jane by Cynthia Han, Brody Ashton, and Joey Meadows, I believe. All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles. Scythe by Neil Schusterman. The Ever King, The Ever Queen, and The Mist Thief, all by L.J. Andrews. The Lovely War by Julie Berry. Magnolia Park's Into the Dark by Jessa Hastings. The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. Scorched and Frigid by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Immortal Ruin and Immortal Dark by Tychus Gurma. The Strength of the Few by James Islington. Throne of Secrets and Throne of Nightmares by Carrie Maniscalco. Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. Arcana Academy by Elsie Kova. The Auction by Sadie Kincaid. Bloodbound by Ellis Hunter. Molka by Monica Kim. Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. Julie Chan is Dead by Leanne Zong. Blood Singer by Juliet Cross. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. The Gilded Cage and the Blood Trader by Lynette Noni. Hollow by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. The Long Way Down and Some Kind of Perfect by Kristen and Becca Ritchie. Dishonestly Yours and Destructively Mine by Kristen and Becca Ritchie. Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. A Long Time Coming by Megan Quinn. Truth or Beard by Penny Reed. Between Loving and Loathing by Shane Rose. Wild Side and Wild Card by Elsie Silver. Spellcaster by Jamin Eve. Passenger Princess by Morgan Elizabeth. Never Over by Claire Gilmore. The Grandest Game and Glorious Rivals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. Last Sacrifice, Blood Promise, and Spirit Bound by Rochelle Mead. The Rake Forge Royals Duet Omnibus, so this is 2 books in one, by Ashley Munoz. We have Bane by L.J. Shin. Wildest Dreams and Handsome Devil by L.J. Shin. Bad Bishop and Twisted Pawn by L.J. Shin. Story of My Life by Lucy Score. Rock Bottom Girl by Lucy Score. One Last Rainy Day by Kate Stewart. Sky Shade and Crown Tide by Alex Astor. What Happens After Midnight by K.L. Walther. The Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. The City of Smoke and Brimstone by Kayla Edwards. City of Lies and Legends by Kayla Edwards. City of Souls and Sinners by Kayla Edwards. And City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards. Sounds Like Love by Ashley Posted. Shield of Sparrows and Right to the Starling by Devney Perry. Carl's Doomsday Scenario by Matt Denneman. With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Bridget Knightley. My Friends by Frederick Bachman. The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. My Dark Prince by Parker S. Huntington and L.J. Shin. The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. The Highest Bidder by Sarah Kate. Give Me More by Sarah Kate. Free Fall by Sarah Kate. Gravity by Sarah Kate. Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. The Worst Best Man by Lucy Score. Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. A Stage Set for Villains by Shannon J. Spann. Air of Illusion by Madeline Taylor. Things We Water by Mariana Zapata. Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford. Wisteria by Adeline Grace. In Her Own League by Liz Tomford. To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast. Most Eligible by Isabel Engel. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Joey by Sadie Kincaid. We have A Touch of Darkness, A Game of Fate, A Touch of Ruin, all by Scarlett St. Clair. Anathema and Eldritch by Carrie Lake. Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. And these don't match and it drives me nuts. So we have Daughter of No World, Children of Fallen Gods, and Mother of Death and Dawn, all by Clarissa Broadbent. A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. The Dirty Air series, which is Titled Collided, Wrecked, and Redeemed by Lauren Asher. Alright, if the lighting has changed and everything, it's because it is the next day. It is cloudy outside. We're working with what we got. We're going to continue. This one I thought about unhauling, but after looking it up and seeing some reviews and some people talk about it, I'm deciding to keep it and give it a try. And that is the Covenant series with Jennifer L. Armentrout. So we have Half-Blood, Pure, Deity, Apollyon, and Sentinel. The Honeymoon Phase by Amy Dawes. Legendborn and Bloodmarked by Tracy Dion. We have Serpent and Dove, Gods and Monsters, and Blood and Honey by Shelby Marin. Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry. Long Live Evil by Sarah Reese Brennan. How to Write a Love I'm not even in frame. How to Write a Love Story by Catherine Walsh. The Last Wish of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson. And these, I really need someone to convince me to read these because these have been on my TBR for so long. And I'm really thinking about unhauling them. That is Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom by Lee Bardugo. Full Measures by Rebecca Yarros. For Whom the Bell Tolls by J.C. Lynn. This Woven Kingdom. These Infinite Threads. All This Twisted Glory. Watch Me and Release Me. All by Tahara Moffey. The next three I also have been thinking about unhauling, but I haven't yet just because I'm in the middle of the series and they're good palette cleansers. Broken Vow, Bloody Heart, and Heavy Crown by Sophie Lark. Stinger by Mia Sheridan. Metal Slinger by Rachel Snyder. An Offer from a Gentleman and Romancing Mr. Bridgerton by Julia Quinn. The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Daydream by Hannah Grace. Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. Never by Jessa Hastings. And this one I may never get rid of just because it is such a pretty cover, but I'm really scared to read this. Another book that I need convincing to either read or just go ahead and get rid of is Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. I got this on a birthday trip, so I'm like kind of holding on to it for sentimental reasons, but it's either gotta be read or it's gotta go. So someone convince me down below. The Sacrifice by Chantal Tessier. Carnage by Chantal Tessier. And Madness by Chantal. Fear of the Flames and Wrath of the Dragon by Olivia Rose Darling. Bloodguard by Ceci Robinson. The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. And A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett. Fake It Till You Break It by Megan Brandy. The Book That Wouldn't Burn and The Book That Broke the World by Mark Lawrence. The Final Girls by Riley Sager. The Resurrection by Jodi Ellen Malpas. We have The Risk by Elle Kennedy. Alchemize by Sen Lin Yu. Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. All's Well by Bailey Hanna. Can You Take It by Janine O'Reilly. Badly Behaved by Megan Brandy. All's Well by Mona Awad. My Life with the Walter Boys by Allie Novak. The Idea of You by Robin Lee. Bad Girl Reputation by Elle Kennedy. Mate by Allie Hazelwood. Wait With Me and Next in Line by Amy Dawes. Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace. Beg, Borrow, or Steal in Your Dreams by Sarah Adams. Training the Heart by Paisley Hope. Bespelled and the Curse That Binds by Lauren Thalassa. Cross by Emily McIntyre. King of Gluttony by Anna Wong. Chain Gang All Stars by Nana Kwame Ajel Brenya. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. June 1st by Jennifer Hartman. Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. Beautiful Venom and Sweet Venom by Rena Kent. Dire Bound by Sable Sorensen. Apprentice to the Villain and Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. Play Along by Liz Tomford. Fan Service by Rosie Dannon. A Queen That's Fierce and Deadly by Stasia Stark. Warrior Princess Assassin by Bridget Kimmerer. The Things Gods Break by Abigail Owen. Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Wong. The Grimm and Oro novellas by Alex Astor. Persuasion by Jane Austen. Not Safe for Work by Nisha J. Tooley. Wild at Heart by K.A. Tucker. The entire Anna Green Gables series. Cash is First. Wyatt is Second. Duke, Ryder, and Sawyer. Black Ties and White Lies. Pretty Rings and Broken Things. And Bright Lights and Summer Nights, all by Kat Singleton. Dig by L.A. Farrow. An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. A Torch Against the Night by Saba Tahir. A Reaper at the Gates by Saba Tahir. A Sky Beyond the Storm by Saba Tahir. Hawk by Jessie Hall. Heavenly Bodies and Fallen Stars by Amani Iru. The Love of My Afterlife by Christy Greenwood. The Defender by Anna Huang. The Bridge Kingdom and the Traitor Queen by Danielle L. Jensen. Trust Me Always by Megan Brandy. Beneath the Stands by Emily McIntyre. Beneath the Hood by Emily McIntyre. Beneath the Surface by Emily McIntyre. The 13th Child by Erin A. Craig. My Vampire Plus One by Jenna Levine. Songburn and the Heart of Stone and The Fallen and the Kiss of Dust by Carissa Broadbent. The Half King by Melissa Landers. Bourbon and Lies, Bourbon and Proof, and Bourbon and Secrets, all by Victoria Wilder. No Fear by Tate James. Just for the Cameras by Megan Quinn. Frozen by Stardust by Elizabeth Helen. The Caretaker by Marcus Clywer. Vow of Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez. And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison. Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. My Dark Desire by Parker S. Huntington and L.J. Shin. This Chunker, Broken by Daylight by Elizabeth Helen. The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy. King of Envy by Anna Wong. All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. The Chain by Adrian McKenty. Enigma by Runix. Voyage of the Damned by Frances White. Summer in the City by Alex Astor. God of the Woods by Liz Tomford. Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. The Will of the Many by James Islington. Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher. Silver Elite by Danny Francis. Fairy Tale by Veronica Lancet. I don't know why I said it like that. Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. Five Brothers by Penelope Douglas. Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. And Primal of Blood and Bone by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Other than the books that I have hauled in May, that is our entire physical TBR. I don't know if I'm going to do like a balancing the bookshelf video at the end of May where I do what I read versus what I hauled, or if I want to do like a wrap up and a haul video. I'll decide that later on, or you can let me know down below. But I know it's a lot. It's a lot. I have a problem. And I don't plan on fixing it anytime soon. So there's that. But thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe, join my bookish community. It would make my day. Let me know down below what is some books that are on your TBR that you plan on reading. And I will see you in my next one.